Hey guys, what's going on? It's about almost 10 till 9 in the morning and I'm still awake. I should be sleeping right about now, but you know what, I'm still up. I told you in that vlog that I did yesterday that this has been a pretty weird week for me, I guess you could say, because I don't know, my internal clock is just all messed up. So anyway, I'm going to try and get a little bit of sleep here in a little while, because I've got to meet with a bride about 5 o'clock this afternoon for a wedding coming up this summer. So it looks like she's probably going to go ahead and book. I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that one, but it sounds like from when I talked to her that she's going to go ahead and book. But anyway, I'll save that for another video. But what I want to talk about in this particular video is I want to do a video response for Brian's videos about the hackers and the bottom feeders and the young DJs. Now, first of all, if you're a young person and you're a young DJ just starting out, or maybe you're a teenager and you're thinking about getting into the mobile DJ business, I've got a couple of videos that I recorded back about a year ago, and I encourage you to go back and look at those. They're entitled some advice for our young viewers, I think it is, something like that. But anyway, it's right here on the YouTube channel. Go ahead and check those out, and they were recorded about a year ago. It's actually in 2 parts, so I encourage you to go back and look at those. But now what I want to say is Brian pretty much hit the nail right on the head with everything that he said, and I agree with him 100% on everything that he said. Okay? Now guys, he wasn't trying to belittle you or try and squash your dreams or say that you're never going to be a good DJ or anything like that. He was actually trying to help you out by being realistic. And that's really what he was trying to accomplish with that, okay? Let me give you an example of that, okay? Now back when you were probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 years old, you probably remember wanting to go across the street, and your mom and dad said, no, you cannot go across the street without me, because we just don't think you need to do that. Now, were your parents trying to squash your dreams, or were they actually concerned about you crossing the street by yourself? Think about that for a second, okay? And then later on, when you're old enough, you were able to accomplish your goal and go across the street by yourself. Well, it's pretty much the same thing. I think one of the points that Brian was trying to make is that if you guys go out and buy equipment, and you go out and start doing gigs and you're not properly trained for it, you're not only hurting the professional DJs in the area, but you're really hurting yourself as well, because you'll earn a bad reputation for yourself. And if you really get these brides thinking that you're the best DJ around, and you got all this experience, you know all this stuff, then you're going to let them down, and that's going to ruin your own reputation. So I think that's really what he's trying to do. Brian is trying to say, don't try to go across the street yet without help, okay? When you get old enough, you can go across the street by yourself. That's pretty much what he's trying to say. Let me give you another example of that, okay? By a young person, say 13, 14, 15 years old, going out buying DJ equipment and saying, okay, I got all this DJ equipment, I'm qualified to go do a wedding. By them saying that, that would be almost like, well, let's use Brett Favre for an example, okay? Brett Favre is one of the best football players around, and I don't know how many times he's retired, but anyway, Brett Favre, he didn't just start out playing in the major league in football, in NFL. He didn't do that. He probably started out when he was young, played maybe football during middle school and high school and college, and then worked his way up to becoming quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. That's how that worked out. He didn't start out becoming the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. That's really where you've got to start. And what I could say for you guys is, if you're a young person, work for somebody. Call up some of the mobile DJs in your area and offer to work and get the adequate training that you need before you decide to go out on your own. Because, we just don't want to see you guys go out and ruin your reputation. That wouldn't be good, before you even start, and then you won't even be able to get a business started to begin with. So that's what we're trying to say. Play in the little leagues first before you start getting into the big leagues. That's the best advice that I can give you on that. And nobody, like I said, nobody's trying to ridicule you or squash your dreams or anything like that. We're actually trying to help you just be honest with you about that. If you're a young person, and you don't need to be trying to take on weddings just yet. Start out doing some smaller gigs and work with somebody. Learn. Right now, be at a stage where you can learn everything that you want to learn. Okay. Now, one other thing that I do want to mention, okay, is that you're never going to reach your full potential. Okay, and I know what you're thinking now. You're thinking, okay, well, what does he mean by that? Well, he doesn't even know me. Why is he saying I'm never going to reach my full potential? You know what? Nobody's ever going to reach their full potential, because if you ever reach your full potential, then that's the time to quit. And what I mean by that is, I mean that you're never going to reach your full potential, because there's always room for improvement no matter what you do. I mean, I can always improve. Brian can always improve. Jonathan can always improve. I mean, you know, when you think about something like mobile DJing, there's never going to be a time when you're going to reach your full potential because you're always going to be trying to improve on something. Okay? And you're always going to want to try and better yourself from day to day. So, you know, you're never going to reach your full potential. And that's what makes you to become a better DJ, is always striving to be better than you are today. Okay, I hope that makes sense on that. Okay, and if I don't, well, just leave me a comment and I'll try to better explain that. But that's one thing that, you know, that's a good little life lesson there, that you're never going to reach your full potential. You're always going to be able to have room for improvement no matter what you do. Okay, so that's just something that you may want to think about. But now, as far as going out and undercutting all the other DJs, well, I'm going to tell you a little story. Okay, this happened about I don't know, about 3 or 4 years ago. I actually had a friend of mine who had never been a DJ before, and he decided to come help me carry my equipment when I did weddings. Well, he saw what I was doing, so he decided to go out and go buy some DJ equipment, and he thought that he could, you know, do what I do just because he had DJ equipment, and he went and started his own business. Well, I don't know what it was, but he became a know-it-all, if you know what I mean. He thought he knew everything about the business, and he really didn't know anything. He'd never had any training or anything like that. I mean, they never talked on a microphone. Well, he ended up going out and he ended up charging a lot less, and you know, for other DJs, and he really disappointed a lot of brides. I mean, a lot of people that I had talked to said that he just didn't know what he was doing. I mean, he didn't know how to announce a wedding party. He didn't know how to do anything, and he went out of business, from what I understand. I think he's doing something else now. He moved out of the area, but you know, I really hated to hear that, because you know, he was just one of the type of people who was just not cut out to be a DJ, and he tried to, you know, undercut everybody else. And he thought just because he had DJ equipment that he could become a big DJ, and he thought that what I did was easy, and he thought that he could, you know, he knew everything. Well, obviously he didn't. But now here's one thing that I always tell my clients, okay? You know, and I think I'm going to touch on something that Brian did say in his videos, talking about, you know, he doesn't care what kind of equipment you got, and, you know, if you have an insane amount of money, you know, you can go out and buy professional DJ equipment. Well, that's true, but just because you have professional mobile DJ equipment does not make you a professional mobile DJ. Okay, any more than let's say if I went down to the local medical store here in town, and I end up buying a stethoscope and a scrub suit. Does that mean I can show up at the hospital tomorrow morning and be ready to perform brain surgery and saying I'm qualified to be a doctor? Well, no. Just because I have a scrub suit and a stethoscope doesn't make me qualified to be a doctor by any means. And I've even said that in a couple of my videos that I send out to brides and grooms. You know, when we talk about that, I tell them, you know, if you see a DJ that just boasts about his equipment, that does not make him a professional DJ. And really, that is true. So that's what you got to think about there, okay? Now, we're trying to help you guys out, and I want to see a lot of you guys succeed, but, you know, you got to pay your dues, okay? You know, you really need to think about that. And as a young person starting out, right now, just try to learn as much as you can. Maybe go out with some DJs and learn what they do, and then, you know, later on, you'll eventually get to where you're going to be able to go out and do things on your own and have the same clientele as we do and make people happy. But, you know, it's not going to come for a while. And, you know, when you're my age, I guarantee when you're 34 years old like I am, you're going to look back at that and say, you know what, Brian was right, Stacy was right, DJ Bo was right. You know, you're going to realize that we were right on these things. And you'll see what we're talking about. You know, you may not really understand it too much right now, but believe me, you will in the future, okay? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for now. So I hope you gotten something out of that. That's just a few things that I did want to say. So until next time, practice and enjoy.